Hey, yo, I lost trial, got 15 years, but I wouldn't change none of it.
All right, my G. So losing trial, 15 years. Dog, go ahead and walk the viewer through just how that felt, leaving the courtroom, going back to the county jail with a 15-year sentence. How old were you?
Oh, I was 26.
26. So how did it feel, bro, being sentenced to 15 years, bro,
I
losing trial?
was, bro, I was numb. I felt numb at that moment in the courtroom. I was, you had your family there and they just seen that, and it was of no expression in the courtroom. I stayed still, I stayed just expressionless. But when they took me to the back, they took me out the courtroom and took me to the back, Lord have mercy, I broke down. I broke down. It was just like everything just hit me all at one time. Boom, and this just weight just dropped. Going in the county.
All right, good afternoon. This is State of Florida versus Stephen Testo with multiple cases before the court.
Yo, what's poppin', man? It's your boy E. King, and this is the Incarceration podcast, where I talk about prison, pre, post, and present, and how everything that I experienced throughout my incarceration has forever changed my life. This is the Incarceration. So Forever Convict family, once again, we are on the journey to 50,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so now. Share this channel with somebody who hasn't. All right, my dog Max, bro. First of
What's
all,
up?
man, before we even get into our how we cross paths, man, obviously, bro, in the chain gang, we're gonna go ahead and dive
Yes, sir.
straight into your story, bro. So go ahead and just introduce yourself to the viewer. First of all, bro, welcome to the Incarceration podcast. Introduce yourself to the viewer and just go ahead and get into your story, bro, and start. Just let the viewer know about your childhood and your upbringing and what began to lead you into a lifestyle of crime and the
What's up?
streets.
What's up, man? Yeah, man, name is Max. Max Michelle, from New York, born there. 85, baby, man, moved down to Florida at a young age, from Brooklyn. Middle child. Both parents were immigrants, came here, work hard, got naturalized, whatever. So first generation.
Are you tired of filling out application after application after application just to continue to get denied the job because of your criminal record? Well, did you know that you can get your criminal record or charges removed? Do you want a clean start by removing your charges or criminal record from your history? With a high success rate of helping those in need nationwide, holla at my homegirl, Farrah Mitchell. And don't forget to use the code word EI King for your discounted price.
And just everyday childhood, man, Spanish home. So, sometimes it's a little tough upbringing just with the way that things could be, with that type of setting and that type of household. So naturally, whoever's the one that's, putting together the rules of the house, basically making the house home, and you tend to rebel whenever they're not there, So I had my moments where I would just be me, just as a kid, getting in all kinds of trouble. Wasn't until, of course, I started school and, I want to say middle school, man, really. Life started taking a turn, just neighborhood kids, peer pressure, and the drug usage started coming around, so kind of late in the middle school, kind of going into high school, you know, you name it. Next thing you know, I'm getting arrested for drug paraphernalia. Didn't graduate high school, ended up going to Job Corps still, heavy drug usage, just a lot of smoking weed and partying, just didn't get my high school diploma in high school, didn't walk on my class, but I got a GED when I was 16, so straight into the work world. I wasn't afraid to work, work hard with my hands, but just always a knucklehead, always into something stupid with the wrong crowd. Long story short, bad relationships, bad scenario, bad just company, bad everything. And we can go into the details of how all of this just falls out. Next thing you know, I'm looking at 15 years, and it was crazy battling my case for like 4 years on the streets and not knowing what my life was gonna be. It was just hanging in the balance between that time. So it's like you don't really even live life with how you're gonna even decide which way you want to go, what plans do you have for you. So finally, the moment of truth, my court case comes and they lost trial, and now I'm sitting in county, and
All right, hold
finally,
on. Let me interrupt you, bro. I'm sorry. All right, just slow it down. All right, before you caught the charge that led to your 15-year prison bid, like, what was the beginning stages of you, like, actually getting caught up, like, in the streets? I know you're saying, like, you were using drugs and things like that, but was that, like, your first arrest is what led to the 15 years, or did you get arrested previously before that? And what were you mainly doing? Were you, like, selling drugs? Were you robbing? Were you using? Like,
I
what
mean,
lifestyle?
really at first it was just, just the hanging out with the people, just, your little crew, I guess, and just getting in trouble at school, being dumb. It was really drug paraphernalia. Um, I didn't get caught selling or smoking or anything, but I was selling weed, a little bit of pills here and there. I wasn't balling out of control or anything, but then again, like, it's just that lifestyle, you feel me? Just what that comes with, the people that you end up kind of what gravitates to you. You know what I mean? Just nothing good comes out of it. There's a lot of pain and hurt and suffering at times where, just people like that kind of just cling together, and we all just self-medicate each other in that process. So, there were other people that I was hanging out with. Of course, they were in the streets a little more than what I was. They were like, guns on their waist, they flagging, they doing their thing, like they repping. I was never a part of that. I just know that those were my friends growing up, and they eventually went into that lifestyle, as they grew up, from the neighborhood, just from the, you know, and I seen that I was cool with that, but I wasn't in it per se, you know what I mean? So a lot of that could contribute to your down spiral, thinking that you can figure your life out on your own with what you know, and in reality you don't know nothing, and you end up facing the type of time that you face, once you realize that, the type of crowd that you had around you wasn't beneficial to you, to anybody else around you. And it's like, it was crazy. Like, when you're in that cell, you start really thinking about everything all together, you know.
Yeah, so was that your first arrest that led to the 15 years, or were you arrested previously before this?
Well, as a minor, I had two misdemeanors. You know what I mean? As a minor, I had gotten into plenty of fights, of course, growing up. I was in school. I ran away from the cops before, just being dumb out and doing stupid stuff just as a kid, neighborhood stuff. And I mean, wouldn't say I had any beef on the streets or anything, but as far as legal matters, man, like, just juvenile. I didn't get juvenile detention. I didn't get that, but I had like twice, which is crazy. I had the kid version, I guess you could say, of the probation. So went through that whole system twice. Had to do, the whole, we had to do the whole, what you call it, the drug cases. The drug screening, the drug classes. Had to go to the funeral home. So I ran through that process twice as a kid, because it's like those deviation programs, basically trying to keep you from going to prison. The judge was lenient on me in those two moments. Still, you grow up or whatever, it still doesn't necessarily sink in. You grow up still thinking that, you kind of got a little bit of stripes or something like that. You kind of shook the cops here and there, whatever. Oh yeah, it doesn't mean anything, man.
All right, my G, so losing trial, 15 years. Dog, go ahead and walk the viewer through just how that felt, leaving the courtroom, going back to the county jail with a 15-year sentence. How old were you?
Oh, I was 26.
26. So how did it feel, bro, being sentenced to 15 years, bro, losing trial?
Bro, I was numb. I felt numb at that moment in the courtroom. I was, you had your family there, and they just seen that, and it was of no expression in the courtroom. I stayed still. I stayed just expressionless. But when they took me to the back, they took me out the courtroom and took me to the back. Lord have mercy, I broke down. I broke down. It was just like everything just hit me all at one time. Boom, and this just weight just dropped. Going in the county, it was bittersweet. And the reason why I say it was bittersweet was because, of course, losing the trial, and then of course I went to the sentencing hearing 15 years. That same day when I came back to the county, I'm still there doing Bible studies with the young kids in there, like these young teenagers, 18, 19, 20 years old. Like, they're not that much younger than me, but they're younger than me. And they just yoked to me, and we were all having Bible studies. And I'm there still trying to break bread with them, and I'm got this lump in my throat. I'm looking like, yo, God, like, what's going on? Yeah, it was rough, man. It was definitely rough, and yeah, you don't know how to process that at that moment in time. A lot hits you, and you really don't want to talk to nobody. You really don't.
That's real, bro. So this transition into your entrance into prison, bro. So how was that first day, bro? From the Bluebird to the reception center, bro. How did that first day look, man? Paint the picture.
Well, first of all, I wasn't. I was tired. First of all, let's say I was tired because I didn't have much sleep. I always had an anticipation that there was a certain time of the week that I knew that we were gonna go, so I really wouldn't get much rest that night. Well, lo and behold, 3 hours of sleep later, they were tapping my bunk and said I was going. So of course I put all my stuff together and leave, and the tire on the paddy wagon on the way over there was flat. There was one of them that was flat, so it was a constant knocking on the way over there. And we were only going like 45 miles an hour, and it was just glock, 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 glock the whole way over there with that flat tire. And I was like, this is not real. Finally, we get there, and all the yelling and screaming, man, I did everything they told me to do. And probably as perfect as I probably would have ever done in my entire life. I did everything that they told me to do. I was like, I don't want no smoke. But oddly enough, I still saw God's favor in there. Like, one of them put me back in the chair to give me a haircut and everything. Like, aside from the crew, they shaving my beard. I'm like, yo, God, what's up? Like, okay. But, extra trays every once in a while. But even then, I'm just like, yo, I don't know what's going on. This is prison. I don't know nobody. Like, it got scary. Not that I was like, I felt like I was in fear of my life. It's just scary because you just don't know what to expect or what's going on. And everything is just a shock. And you already have an idea of what you think that it's supposed to be in prison with like Hollywood and with like, war stories or something like that. And then now you got to experience that for yourself. And you're thinking it's all the same thing. And in most cases, it really isn't. It's just, just for the first time for me, it was bugged out.
But that first day in though, like, you hear stories, and obviously, I know my experience, but did you see people getting like slapped down and like choke slammed and yoked up for like talking and all that? You see anything crazy like that your first day?
Not the first day. I want to say that was the second and the third day. And then, seeing dudes getting pushed up against the wall, their face on the wall, with the arm twisted behind their back. The continual like degrading disrespect, and the way that they said that they're gonna basically use force on you, how they were gonna kick you here, there, and like punch you and slap, like, yeah, straight up. Like that's your introduction to prison, man.
Yeah, man. All right, so continuing with the prison journey, man, like, how did you begin to settle in with your schedule? What institution, what prison you go to first? Where do you get transferred to? And what did your everyday lifestyle in prison look like?
Well, after orientation, of course, man, because I already knew, man, I was still kind of just at their whim. They're gonna send me and do wherever. So I didn't settle in, of course, at that moment. But finally, when I get into a routine, I figured out that basically I can go to the chapel during the daytime and get out of the dorm, okay? Or if I have to go to the yard, okay, then I gotta figure out my schedule like that. But I mean, basically all in a nutshell is that the way that I did time was just that I wanted to focus as much as I needed to on God, and on just studying the word. And then of course at the time I was trying to fight my case, so I was doing all that law library stuff, but just basically just focusing on getting to know who he is, and then at the same time getting to know who I am. in that time, because just seeing how prison just was, just the atmosphere and the kind of culture that it kind of carries on, you get to see that people can waste a lot of their time. They're doing a lot of nothing, man. And a lot of us, man, there was a small group of us that took that as like, you know what, let's just use this as a university. Let's utilize the places that are the least utilized, and that was the chapel and the library. So that's what we went for. So I remember there was study groups that I would join, man. It was just, that's what we would do, man. We would study the word. I mean, we go deep. We would stay on a certain topic for hours and just chop it up, man. Like, so basically I found a small group of brothers. I found a routine where I would kind of space out my day, kind of just stay out of the mix of everything, because I know that I was young, but I wasn't an idiot going into that spot that I wanted to just get caught up in anything. That wasn't my thing. I seen that there was a lot of stuff that I know that I didn't want to be involved with that could jeopardize just my time and how I do it there. And I just stayed focused, man. And then there were times where I was able to share my faith while I was in there too. So that was important to me as well. So the crowd that I kept, of course, and then my time management with where I would spend my time and how I would basically utilize everything in between. I wouldn't spend a lot of time in the TV room. I wasn't gambling. I didn't do drugs, anything, and wasn't in anything else crazy. But I just stayed focused, man. That was it.
What were some of the craziest things that you've seen throughout the 15 years in prison, bro? Like, what are some of the craziest memories that you have, whether it be violent, goofy, funny, just some memories that stick out to you, dog?
I guess I could start with the I don't know, the fight stories. Crazy things I've seen, man. When the officers, they basically have their ways with the inmates, man. When they, yeah, dude. When at the back of the dorm, they picked up this guy that apparently was riding a bunch of kites on, like, not just other inmates, but like the correctional officers, and they, like in handcuffs, picked him up and dropped him in the back of the dorm. And we all seen that outside because everybody was on lockdown. So we're all looking through the windows and we could see that. We seen a dude get dropped right on his head, right in the dorm. And then they try to hide it and like cover it up, like try to wash it out with water. And everybody stood up in the dorm. It was like, nah, we ain't having that. Dude, like, funny stuff. I mean, we'll put together programs like we used to do, like Olympics, like with different dorms and everything, and that would be kind of cool. The guys out there trying to do some like physical activities that really they shouldn't be doing them, and it's like the guys still think that they can play football and basketball, and it's just funny to see stuff like where activities like that could just bring a kind of sense of camaraderie, and you kind of lose the sense of like where you're at. You're just enjoying the moment. And we had moments like that where we were able to spend with each other and even create that kind of atmosphere for a lot of people too. There was even things that we would do for Thanksgiving where we would have people donate not just money from the outside, but all of us inside. The brothers would all get together and we would put money together and we would feed the entire work camp compound. We would feed everybody. The biggest work camp in the state of Florida, and we would feed all 500 of them, and there would be food left over. And it's not to say that everybody would eat, but everybody that showed up would eat like 2 or 3 times over. So in a sense, it's like you kind of could have fed everybody if they really wanted to eat one bowl of food. But we just seen God bless that. And it's been almost 10 years that that's been running. Even while we left, these brothers are still doing that in prison. So we were just blessed to be a pioneer of that, and just to see that continue on and be a blessing and and just minister to the brothers the way that it does, because people do a lot of time and never see other brothers do that, for an entire community of people that they don't really know or even, can relate to. Think about it, man. And it's a small core brothers too. Like they say less than 10% is actually the people that actually do 90% of the ministry in the church. Well, we seen that it was just a group of like maybe 10 or 15 of us, and we were able to feed the compound, man. So that was kind of cool.
That's dope,
good
bro.
memories, you know.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing that, dog. Man, do you feel like those 15 years in prison, bro, do you feel like they positively impacted your life or negatively? And how?
I don't know if there's a way to answer a little bit of both. I mean, of course, you know, you see that there's a part of you that you grow on from and that you kind of lose in the mix over the years, because in the beginning it's like a lot of people that are on the beginning of that journey are trying to go back to a life that they left behind. They're trying to go back to that. They're submitting all kind of motions, going left to right, up, like really trying to go back to that life, and there's no way to get that back, of course, for most of them. So the bittersweet of that part is like, man, you know, you left a lot of you behind you, and then the transition is like, you know, when you can accept the process and grow, which is actually what I ended up doing about like 4 years into it, then allowing myself to just become the man that I am today. And I'm happy that, you know, I came out the way that I did as far as the mindset, you know, and the approach to life that I have. I know I didn't have that before, but then the solid relationships that I got after the fact. So you take a lot of that with you. You don't just lose a lot. You gain a lot of that. As a matter of on the other side, you gain a lot of a new sense of who yourself, who you are by identity. You know, it's really dope to see. It's really dope to see. Like I said, you know, there's the brothers that you can get out with and then just kind of be just in fellowship with, man. And just these lifelong relationships that you were able to establish, you know, from a place like that.
Amen, bro. And how was your transition out, bro, after doing 15 years, like dealing with just how society is nowadays, culture, technology, working, family? How was the transition home?
I mean, I'm still going through it, man.
How long you been out?
Oh shoot, I got out this past March. So what are we? We're in the end of November now, and I'm just like, I'm still trying to figure out how do you have, like, you know, a toasted iced coffee. Like, I didn't know you can toast ice. You know what I mean? Like, it's just simple stuff like that. But yeah, just seeing that there's a whole world around us that has changed over time, and just trying to get in the mix. It's taken me a few months, and I'm still getting in kind of settled in, you know. But I'm not even on my first year yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like March 15th till now. So yeah, I'm still got a lot of catching up to do, man. But it's been dope, you know, having the support group that you have, you know, beautiful woman I met, that she's been awesome. She's been my rock, you know. Love you, Shirley. You know, she's awesome. Somebody that you know that if you're gonna share your life with, that totally is understandable with your background, with, you know, who you are as a person, you know. And the reason why I bring up that aspect of a relationship, because that truly does help, where, you know, while you're settling in, you have somebody that you can express and share your struggles or any type of challenges with, and they help you along the way. And that's not just family, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a good thing if you have that support group, and I've had that. So I'm thankful.
That's real, bro. And then lastly, man, for those who are still incarcerated, if you could shoot them a kite, bro, and send them a message, what would it be, dog?
Okay, yeah, man. Man, listen, I was in your spot, you know, I was, you know, sentenced 15 years, 12 years, 9 months and 5 days. So you're talking to somebody that knows. I know, I've been there. But what always helped is when, man, people would encourage and just say, man, stick to the race, man. The race is not, it's not grievous. It could seem like it's long, it could seem like it's lonely at times, but it's not. You really do got people that are there that'll care about you. And even some of them are right there with you, right around you. Don't forget that. You know, brothers that just, or sisters that you just see them and you're just like, yo, how do you get something that I don't? Yeah, I can't figure out. How do you get this piece? You know the right things to, you know, to read and to say, but what do you do in that position? You know, just lean on that with your other brothers that are right there with you, your sisters that are right there with you. Okay, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Understand that, you know, God is always there with you, just to pray away all the time. You know, just be still and knows that he is God. You know, take every thought captive, because, you know, your mind could definitely get wandered off, and all these darts will send you all kind of crazy messages, and then we start believing a lie. Don't do that. Give yourself time to reflect, give yourself time to reason, give yourself time, you know, to respond the right way with the right people around you. You know, the counsel of 2 or 3, you know, there's safety. Like, that's what you need. You need a good core group of people around you. If you're listening to stuff around you that don't benefit, you know, you're walking your life and it's not, you know, beneficial to you spiritually, cut that out of your life for a minute. You know what I mean? Purge the negativity around you. Understand that that stuff could definitely, you know, taint your mindset, and it can have you with an expectancy that's false, you know, and that's what fear does. So just keep the faith, stay positive, stay motivated, read your word. Don't ever stop praying, ever. Don't ever stop praying. I promise you, prayer is powerful. You know, the people around you, they love you, that are in Christ, they love you. And just keep moving forward, man. God has got your back. God has got your back. The way that he's been able to bless my life since I've been out, I can't even go down the menu of how God has just blessed my life, even in the midst of some of the crazy stuff that's happened since I've been out. But it's like, yo, God is real. Even when you get out, like, you have no idea of how he's gonna bless your life. Like, don't worry about the unexpected or the unknown. Like, God has got you. I promise you. I promise you.
Amen, bro.
Hey, yo, my name is Max, and this is the Incarceration Podcast.
And listen, if you've done any time, I'm talking about a county jail, state penitentiary, federal, or even drug programs, whatever. If you want to share your story on this channel, go ahead and email me at eithekingbooking. Go ahead and put your stories in the comments below. If there's anything that I talked about slightly, you want me to go more in depth on, or anything I haven't talked about at all, and it's a good idea, drop it in the comments. Let me know. And also remember, I am a rapper. My artist name is E.I. the King. You can find my music on all platforms. I also have another channel, YouTube channel, my official artist channel, E.I. the King. And I also have another podcast. It's called Let Me Talk Bro, where I talk more so about my life, music, ministry, and all these things. Also, I have a Patreon with exclusive content. Everything is in the description below. So listen, man, till the next time, it's your boy, E.I. the King.